Today on CHGO Blackhawks, we discuss the Chicago Brantford connection with Reed Duthie of the Brantford Bulldogs. We'll get some Caleb Malhotra in there too. The Oilers keep Oilering. Mike Babcock is being investigated. The Stanley Cup Final is tied, and some little bit of fun at the end of the show too. Stick around for CHGO Blackhawks. Happy Wednesday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Hope you're having a great day on this hot and humid Chicago summer day. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen. Chloe Thiel is here running the show, experiencing her first Chicago summer, coming from the desert of Denver to the hot, humid Chicago. How you doing? You all right?
I'm sweaty.
Join the club.
That's
Welcome
about
to
it.
Chicago.
You're on the right podcast for that.
Exactly.
My body's just not used to the going from such a dry place to it being so
Yes.
humid outside, so I think I'm just getting used to it, and it'll get better.
You'll be fine.
Yeah,
It'll be
another
fine. I'll be
25,
fine.
30 years,
Yeah,
you'll
you'll get
be
used to it.
normal.
Right,
Yeah.
25 years from now, perfect.
Thanks for being with us. Hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. We're going to talk about Babcock. We're going to talk about the Cup Final. We're going to play a little game at the end of the show I think you guys are going to enjoy. You've probably been playing a little bit yourself, but we want to start in Brantford, Ontario, home of the Bulldogs. The Blackhawks have Marek Vanacker there. Parker Holmes is there. Nick Lardis was there. Potentially Caleb Malhotra if he's there at 4 for the Blackhawks. Let's welcome in Reed Duthie, who is the voice of the Brantford Bulldogs. Reed, thanks for being with us, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, guys. This is a real pleasure. Big fan of the work you guys are doing for the Hawks down there. And I can confirm it is 34 degrees and humid just outside of Brantford, Ontario. So we're all sharing the same misery here.
All right, so we're going to have to convert that. 34, that's 93 degrees.
It's about the same.
U.S. Yeah. Yes, so, all right, that's rough.
US.
Yeah, we're having about the same day, so enjoy. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. But, look, it's really kind of a fascinating thing that the Hawks have found such a connection with Brantford. And I want to start with Nick Lardis, who you saw a couple years ago. 71 goals, just looks great. And we saw him played literally half the season, 41 games last year, and scored 10 goals. So do the math, 20 goal pace. I think Nick Lardis surprised us by how quickly he looked NHL ready. What did you make of his rookie season in the NHL?
Yeah, I think I was a little bit surprised by how fast Nick jumped up. I knew eventually it was going to happen because, look, all this kid's done his entire hockey career is score goals. Everywhere he's been, from AAA to the Ontario Hockey League to the American Hockey League, now the National Hockey League, he scores goals. He's an unbelievable talent, and he's an even better person, which makes his success so much more fun to see. But that transition to the pro game, I mean, Nick, he's not a monster. You know, he goes about 5'10", 5'11". He's not the biggest guy in the world, but man, nobody will outwork Nick Lardis. And you leave him alone for even a split second in a circle, in a shooting area, off the rush, if you're not right there tracking him, he's going to make you pay. And we saw him do it a lot in Brantford. He had a ton of goals even before he had the 71-goal breakout season. But to watch him do what he did that year, and if you count the playoff goals, I think it was 84. It was just silly what he was able to do. And we all at the beginning of the season last year thought, well, maybe, middle round pick, maybe we get him back for an overage season. And by about goal 45, we thought, yep, we better enjoy this now because we ain't seeing Nick again for another year.
Well, the Hawks, you got the pleasure to do play-by-play for the OHL leading goal scorer 2 years in a row. With Marek Vanacker getting the job done last year, and that was a guy the Blackhawks traded back into the first round 2 years ago to get. We knew that he was obviously a very talented player, but I don't know if anybody expected him to lead the league in goals last season. What were the keys to his success last year to having that bust-out season?
Well, health being the big one. So he led the Bulldogs with 36 goals 2 years ago and then had the shoulder injury. And as we found out postseason, he played about half the year that he scored 36 with one arm. So when he had the late start to the year last season, the Bulldogs still win the division and go on it to the second round. He started slow and you could see it build over time. And by the time he got back to camp this year, he looked like a different animal. He had put on size and that power forward frame. When Marek drops the shoulder around the outside with his elite skating, there are very few defenders that can take him on at the junior level. And we saw it so many times this year where he would just drop and drive. That was one thing that would back off defenders, and then that would open up a whole lot more space for his dynamic combination with Jake O'Brien. So he would even fake going to that backhand drive, and then he could hit the brakes, and suddenly the defense is 10, 15 feet away from him, and now you've got that lethal release and shot combination that he has. I wasn't surprised that he led the OHL in goal scoring. As long as Marek Vanacker is healthy, he is very much like Nick Lardis in that he has scored goals every step along the way. And when you combine that with Jake O'Brien and for a large part of the season, Adam Banach on that top line, that group was just devastating.
It's funny. He leads the league in goals. He's got 47. And to us, it's like, well, Lardis had 71.
47.
Like 47's nothing. And,
down year in the OHL,
yeah,
apparently.
Right. And as we sort of project out, like looking to the next 2, 3, 4 years of the Hawks, Vanacker's name does not come up very often because you've already got the guys that are here already, and you're getting Kanserov coming this summer, whoever they might draft if it's a forward. And it feels like he's got some climbing to do if he's going to make it to the NHL and be an impact player for the Blackhawks. But when you compare him and Lardis, how do you see, like, how would you compare the two of those in terms of NHL running? It's like, how big of a gap between those two do you think there is, I guess is a way to ask it.
Well, if you looked at it in a traditional sense, you would think that Marek Vanacker coming off this season from a physical standpoint is more NHL ready than Nick Lardis was prior to last year. So I think Vanacker's put himself in a really good spot. I think Lardis, with the 71 goals, absolutely blew the doors off and elevated himself up prospect rankings all over the hockey world. And now Marek Vanacker is putting himself in that conversation that this guy could be a top-line player moving forward in the American Hockey League before getting to the National Hockey League. I think he probably spends a year or two getting NHL ready, and then you'll see him make the show.
Yeah, I mean, they've got time to give him an opportunity in Rockford to, work his way up and through it. There's no rush. They've got plenty of forwards they can put in that middle six. But I'm really curious to see when he makes that jump to Rockford, is he going to be like a top-line, big-time scorer? That's the question with all these prospects, really. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what we're waiting to see. And I think with Nick Lardis, you saw it happen immediately. With Marek Vanacker, maybe it takes a year. Maybe he's got to find his footing in the American League. But he will get there. He's always done that, and he's such a fun player to watch, guys. And you'll love him as a personality for the Hawks as well. He is just tremendous top to bottom. Anything you could ask for out of a pro, you're going to get it out of Marek Vanacker.
Well, I know he's not a Bulldog anymore, recently traded to the Sarnia Sting. Parker Holmes was a guy that kind of came out of nowhere for the Hawks last year, taken in the fourth round. That was a guy that when that pick was made, we were kind of like, who? Wasn't very high on a lot of draft boards, but obviously they had a lot of eyes on him over the last couple of years. So, I know he's kind of a long shot NHL guy, but what do the Hawks have in Parker Holmes, and why did they use that fourth round pick to grab him?
He's 6'4" and 227 pounds. You could use his back as a drive-in theater. Parker Holmes, I described a lot of times on the air as an aircraft carrier with feet. This guy, when he decides that he's going somewhere, he's going. Nobody's going to stop him. He's that big, he's that strong, he's that powerful, and he's got a wicked shot. I think for Parker, an opportunity to go to Sarnia this year for a team that may be really looking to take a big step forward will really help him. The Bulldogs reloading in some spots throughout the lineup. So he'll get an opportunity in Sarnia to play with some serious talent, and I think that's exactly what he'll need. I love Parker as a kid. He came to camp 2 years ago and worked his tail off to earn a spot on that roster and has just continued to put in the work ever since. So I'm very excited to see what he does as a pro.
Well, let's move on to Caleb Malhotra, who you talk about breakout seasons last year, just absolutely insane for Brantford, and just I felt like every time I saw a highlight from the OHL, it was him. Every time I would look at Twitter, you'd see 2 or 3 goals from him. If he falls to 4, which feels like a long shot with Vancouver picking 3, what would Chicago be getting in Malhotra?
The most mentally ready two-way player that I've seen come through the OHL. This kid, you can tell that he is the son of a former NHL player, the son of a former first-round pick in the National Hockey League, the son of a coach now in the National Hockey League. High-end character, high-end skill, but what's between the ears is so incredibly special. The character, the thought, everything that goes into Caleb Malhotra. If you had told me walking in this year he was 24 years old and had already played 3 seasons in the pros, I wouldn't have batted an eye. He came in with that pro style right from day one and immediately became one of my favorite personalities that's ever come through the Bulldogs. And I've been around the team since they become an OHL franchise. This kid is really, really special. And for the historical purposes of Lardis going there, of Vanacker going there, of Holmes going there, I really hope Chicago gets a shot at him. I think your only problem is that Vancouver has 1 pick ahead.
Well, that's interesting because there are some people that think, well, Vancouver shouldn't take him because of the Manny Malhotra factor. But just knowing what I know about Caleb, the little bit we know and the lot we know about Manny, I can't imagine that will be an issue at all there.
No, not in the slightest. I don't think it would be any easier for Caleb to make the team. In fact, it might be harder for Caleb to make that team very quickly because they're going to want to make sure that he is 100% ready to go before they put him in a lineup coached by his dad. Now, that said, we know that Vancouver has needs outside of just the center position. So do they decide to go defense and Caleb is suddenly sitting there on the board and going to play with Nick Lardis and Marek Vanacker down the road? I really, really like what Caleb projects to be in the future. And I think he's the right guy for the Chicago Blackhawks. It seems like they're building a team based around work ethic, based around hockey IQ, and based around excitement. He ticks all of those boxes. If I'm the Blackhawks, that's the guy I want.
All right, Reed, this was great, man. We appreciate your time. We'll catch up soon. Maybe if they draft Malhotra, we'll have you back on to celebrate.
Well, I'm working to bring Caleb to you as well. So let's make that happen first, and then I'll be happy to jump on with you as soon as that pick is made.
All right, perfect, man. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Reed.
Thank you guys so much. We'll talk soon.
That is Reed Duthie, the voice of the Brantford Bulldogs, joining us on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I guess you make your first draft pick in Brantford, and then you go and you scout your players, and you're, oh, wow, this guy looks good, and that guy looks really good. Let's take them too. You want to make sure they're looking elsewhere too, not just Brantford.
Right,
but
right.
It's a team that's had a lot of success. It's a team that is developing NHL talent. And I think when you're a scout or you're a GM, you look at organizations and their ability to create NHL talent. And I think Brantford obviously has that going for them.
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world that you keep going there. You're familiar with that program. You're not only the players, because you're there watching Lardis or Vanacker or whoever, so you're seeing these guys as well. But you're also probably have a very good relationship with the coaching staff and the training staff, so you have some inside information on some of these kids. So it's going to be weird that they, as of now, don't have a player on that team this year. That could change with Malhotra, or
Yeah.
maybe they draft another kid later in the draft. They don't have a lot of draft eligible guys this year. I think the only other one in the elite prospects draft guide from Brantford was a defenseman. Dravecki, maybe?
Yeah, Vladimir Dravecki.
Yeah.
Great name.
It is. Dave's Russian kid. Grandkid probably now. So, maybe they grab him in the later rounds, and so they could keep, I'm sure the OHL, Blackhawks OHL scout has, the bartenders and restaurants have his dinner waiting for him every Saturday night, knowing that he's going to be there. But yeah, it's a great organization, so why not? I mean, they're one of the best teams in the OHL, but I know they have the traditional teams there. London has a great reputation, and Sioux and Kitchener, but the Brantford's been right up there with those guys the last few years.
Should we do a quick draft profile on Vladimir Dravecki just so when it happens, we've got it?
Sure. He's
6 foot, 189 defenseman from Czechia. Last year with Brantford, 58 games, 9 goals, 19 assists for 28 points. He was a plus 24. 90 shots on goal for him. 3 points in 11 playoff games. More of a defensive-minded guy.
Blackhawks can use that.
There you go. All right, there it is.
There you go. There's your third-round pick. Vladimir Drevecki,
Yes.
right there. You heard it here first.
What if it happens? Wouldn't that be amazing?
You know what? Listen, it's the Brantford Bulldogs.
There's got to be. Yeah.
I would place a bet that it happens. Not a large one, but a bet.
Yes, 100%. And by the way, I know Reed is, I want to shout him out for maintaining his thought process as his children were setting his house on fire. I've been there.
I thought that was Max, actually.
I have been there.
Or
Reed.
the Brantford locker room.
Yes. Now my kid doesn't talk to me at all, so there's a nice medium in there. So yeah, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun, and he got through. That's a pro. That is a broadcast professional.
Hey, he's a play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
He's used to a lot of shouting going on around him and staying focused.
Yeah, well, thanks to him for joining us. And again, he joined us on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. We're going to hit the break zone for the first time. Hit that like button while we're there. When we come back, we're going to talk more pucks. We're going to talk about the Cup Final, which is tied and exactly the kind of series we predicted. That's next on CHGO Blackhawks. Does your baseball season need elevation like mine does? Sunnyside is here to elevate yours. And good news for you. Good news. Tea Time vapes are back. Lemonade flavored, so it goes well with an Arnie Palmy on the golf course or wherever you are legally. That's key. Legally. And you can take advantage of their Stash Pass Summer live now through Labor Day. It's Sunnyside's rewards program. It lets you earn rewards simply by visiting and making qualifying purchases. Every visit earns a stamp, bringing you closer to your next reward. Head to their website for only the best under the sun, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Listen to that. That's a great deal. Use our promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun, only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. And we here at CHGO, we love you. And we are very glad that you are part of our community. And as we're a newer company, we launched in March of 2022. We're always looking for ways to improve. We're sort of ground floor on this whole like podcasting network business thing. Bottom line is we want your input. We love that you're here. We think you're enjoying the product. We're proud of the product we're putting out, but we want to make sure we're not missing anything, or maybe we're giving you too much of one thing and not enough of another. We want you to take a survey for us. And if you do, you've got a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Go to allchgo.com/contest and let your voice be heard. Let us know the host you love. You want someone back full time, maybe? Let them know. That's a good way to do it. You want new producers hired? We all do. They're all great. I'm not saying fire you. Bring in more. Let us know what you want. $100 Amazon gift card on the line. allchgo.com/contest to let us know. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, and we want to let you know the first of our World Cup watch parties is Friday at Utopian Tailgate. I'm going to be there. Chloe's going to be there. Greg?
No, I will not.
Greg will not be
Greg.
there. But he might be at another one. You never know.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Come join us. It's awesome. It's free. You can RSVP at allchgo.com. June 12th, that is this Friday against Paraguay. Then we've got one on the 19th at Bub City versus Australia. And then June 25th versus Turkey. Turkey. At Joe's on Weed. Again, it is free.
If there's free turkey at that one, I'll
Free
come.
turkey. Well, there are going to be special World Cup cocktails from Don Julio.
That does nothing for me.
Casamigos, Buchanan's, deals, samples, prizes, the whole nine. Come and watch the USMNT take on Paraguay at Utopian Tailgate. That is this Friday. I should give you that address. That'd be helpful. Beep, beep. I'm a professional. Reed Duthie would have had it. The address is 1608 North Wells. That is in Old Town. It's a place that would probably not otherwise let me in because of my advanced age and unfortunate body shape.
Is that the old Tequila Roadhouse?
I don't know.
That's an old haunt from back in my 20s.
Okay. Well, I'll be there, and they have to let me in because I'm working. So come say hi to me. Come say hi to Chloe. Alec will be there, of course, watching the game from our CHGO Stars and CHGO Fire Show. Lots of CHGO folks will be at all these events, so come cheer on the national team with us at Utopian Tailgate on Friday and at our other events as the tournament goes on. Bub City on the 19th, Joe's on Weed on the 25th, and as Team USA advances, we'll add more dates as far as I know. So, can't wait. I'm kind of. Are you World Cup at all? Kind of peripherally.
Yeah, I mean, I'll end up watching some of it. Probably when they get to the knockout run, I'll watch the U.S. Like I'm a very, very casual soccer fan.
Yeah.
Like when the Premier League first got on NBC, I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to get into this." You know, hey, there's another niche sport I can make no money trying to write about.
Exactly.
And you know, I adopted Tottenham as my Premier League team because at the time I had a friend who was living in that area, and she was a big Spurs fan. She's since passed on, but I just once I realized, wait a minute, I have to get up every Saturday at 6 a.m. to watch this.
Yeah, it's very demanding.
But yeah, World Cup. I thought it was cool the last time they did the World Cup. That was the one in Qatar, right, where they did it in like November.
I think so, yeah,
because it was so hot there in the summertime. Because I remember going to the Kris Kringle Market in Gallagher Way at Wrigley Field, doing the Christmas stuff, and the World Cup USA game was on the big screen. It was very weird being like, here we are doing Christmas stuff, but there's a World Cup soccer match on.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, and it's still hot in November in Qatar for sure. Same for me. So I got into the Premier League, I think it was 2 World Cups ago. I really enjoyed it. I was watching a lot of it, and I chose Liverpool. And our buddy Sam Fells was like, well, you're cursed because Liverpool sucks. Since then...
You know what? I got the same message from a lot of people in the blogosphere about choosing Spurs.
Yeah, but since then, Liverpool's had a ton of success. So I got in right on time. But, you know, I started out hot trying to watch every game. Now I kind of watch them from a distance. I use them in FIFA. It's a team to follow and keep track of, but I don't live and die with every goal like a lot of people do. But I think we talk about this a lot. Like when the NHL has big events like the Four Nations or the Olympics, you hope that the snowball gains more snow on the way down the hill.
Yeah, I think the problem with the World Cup is its timing because it's in the summer when all the big European leagues are off. They're not playing. So it's like you get like, oh, soccer's really good. I want to get into this. And then when it's over, all that's left is MLS games. And you're like, this is not this. No disrespect to anybody playing in the MLS, but to like tune in from the World Cup final to then watch 2 MLS teams play the following day. It's a wee bit of a drop off.
It's a little bit better now than it was 2 World Cups ago when I decided to start following soccer. The MLS is a better league now, but yeah, it's a pretty big drop off. But it's look, for people that like, we got to watch sports. We got to watch hockey for a living. I used to have to watch every friggin' thing. So to find time for soccer was tough.
Right.
But now, you know, we're working nights.
Well, the fact that it's here in the United States this year, meaning they'll be on in prime time. They'll be on at watch. You know, you don't have to get up at 4 a.m. or stay up to midnight to watch a game. That's going to make
it's going to help.
It's going to make it more accessible. And, you know, the Stanley Cup final that we're about ready to talk about, that will be wrapping up here in another few days. It'll be the nice segue to jump in from, you know, the end of the Stanley Cup final right into the knockout round of the World Cup.
Well, I saw this stat, speaking of the Stanley Cup final. I know you found some interesting stats too. The highest scoring Stanley Cup final through 4 games is this one, 2026, 33 total goals scored. 2025, last year, had 32 goals scored. The 2010 Cup final with the Flyers and Hawks, 29 goals through 4 games. Those are the top 3.
Yeah, because wasn't Game 4 like that crazy, or Game 3? One of them was that crazy.
Yeah, I think
7-5 game.
Yes, I believe that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, we were talking before the show. We got to fire Petey.
Yeah, well, no, we keep Petey, but then we bet big on the opposite of what he says is going to happen.
Yes. Game 5. So
okay, it wasn't even
well,
that
but
game.
here you had 6-5 was Game 1.
Right. I remember one of them was
then it was 2-1.
The Ben Eager game.
Hawks won 6-5. Hawks won 2-1. Hawks lost 4-3. Hawks lost 5-3. So there's your first 4 of the series. The 11-goal first game helps a lot.
Yeah.
Then you had a 7-4 win, Game 6. Game 5, and then 4-3 overtime, obviously, Game 6.
Yeah.
So.
Steve Peters, our guy Peter.
Yeah.
Petey. is one of the smartest hockey guys I've ever met. And boy, these last 2 rounds are making all of us look silly. Everybody thought this was going to be a game full of 2-1 games. And this is the first Stanley Cup final ever. They've been doing a Stanley Cup final for a long time.
Yeah.
First one ever where both teams have scored at least 3 goals in the first 4 games. That blew my mind. But
that's crazy.
ESPN threw it up there. That is the first Stanley Cup ever where both teams have scored 3 or more goals in each of the first 4 games.
That is really hard to believe, especially when you think about the 80s era where you had plumbers playing goalie and
sure,
you had Wayne Gretzky out there.
Yeah, but a lot of those Oiler games were 8-1.
Yeah, that's true.
8-2.
But 3 goals feels like kind of the standard. That's such a crazy stat.
Hey, if it's wrong, yell at Sean McDonough for saying it on the air.
Can I yell at John Buccigross instead?
Sure.
Just for fun.
He's yelling at you. You might as well yell at him. So that was that stat.
That's really interesting.
Eric Stahl, Jordan Stahl. I got all the wrong Stahls.
Don't do that in the bathroom.
Well, you never know. Jordan Stahl has found the fountain of youth in this series, going 17 years in between Stanley Cup final goals. He scored 2 in 2009 with the Penguins as a second-year player, maybe a rookie, and then scoring 5 in 4 games. He is the first player since Mike Bossy in 1982 to score a goal in the first 4 games of a Stanley Cup final, and is the oldest to ever do it. And that goal he scored, the game winner from his stomach, just flipping it over Carter Hart.
What a play!
It was such, because I was like yelling at who didn't score originally on that.
Oh yeah,
it was Jarvis, wasn't it?
I think was it Jarvis? I think so.
Where he kind of
they would have gotten the assist on the goal, so that was. Ehlers
had a great scoring chance, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? And then it just pure chaos, and Jordan Stahl had the wherewithal of I'm just gonna flick it towards the net and see what happens.
And then Carter Hart dives for it. Like it was that is going to be a goal shown on highlight films forever.
Especially if Carolina wins this series. I mean, that could be a potential series changing goal.
Absolutely.
I mean, you go back to Carolina 2-2 as opposed to 3-1. I mean, that's a big difference. But yeah, it's been this series has been awesome. These two teams are giving they're gassed. You see these guys
playing their asses off.
You see these guys get to the bench or when you take a penalty and they get to the penalty box and they're just huffing and puffing. Like they're giving everything they got. It was Aho that missed the scoring chance.
Thank you.
Which he's kind of done the entire series. But these teams are just coming at you wave after wave. Nothing affects them. Every game has started off 2-0 for one of the teams.
Yeah.
Both teams have had 2-0 lead twice in this series, and nobody can hold a lead. It's just neither team is phased. Like even when Ehlers scored the billiards table empty net goal, there's 54 seconds left. And Vegas was down 2. Even then, I was like, they might still tie this.
Yeah,
like,
in
they're
going to
get a goal here in the next 20 seconds and make this easy. And they almost did.
It certainly feels that way. And I mentioned it yesterday, but it bears repeating. As you mentioned, guys just giving it all. Emily Kaplan tried to talk to Shea Theodore after Game 3, the double overtime game. And she's asked him questions, and he is just so out of gas that he can't even think of an answer. And he basically just tells her, look, I just want to go home. And she's like, all right, leave. Go. He tried. He gave it his best. But when you're exerting that much energy through the course of a double overtime game that has been back and forth and up and down, to try to have an interview that amounts to anything is a little crazy, especially Shea Theodore in Game 3 played 39:09.
Yeah, Duncan Keith can do that without breaking a sweat.
39:09.
Well, it was a double overtime game.
The next closest.
I mean, that's almost half that game.
Yeah, Braden McNabb played 35:47. Jacob Slavin played 29.56.
35 minutes with a broken face.
That is wild.
Hockey players,
They
man,
had a bunch of guys over. Vegas had
Torts
McNabb.
Shortens his bench big time.
Yeah, Anderson
games.
and Theodore all over 30. Much more balance on Carolina, but
well, because you can't put Jeremy Lauzon out there because is it just me or is he on the ice for every goal against?
it does feel that way a little bit.
Every time Carolina scores a goal, there's number 5 in goal right there in front of that.
Yeah,
doing this. Oh no!
By the way, did you see that? I saw it somewhere on Twitter that Torts basically is saying like this is it. Like once the series is over, he's done with Vegas.
Yeah, sure. All right, I'll believe that.
He said that. Well, he says that that's the agreement they came to when they hired him. And like maybe he just doesn't want to do coaching.
If he wins the
full-time.
Stanley Cup, how do you not bring him back?
Well, I mean,
so then he can go back to his cushy media job. Even though when he's a coach, he hates the media, but he loves the paycheck he gets every time he's not coaching.
He is not a dumb guy. Let's take a break. We're going to continue the Cup final discussion and Torts, and I think the Tortorella conversation can lead us into another soon-to-be head coach in the NHL. That's next on CHGO Blackhawks. What kind of dreams did you have as a kid? Did they involve Susanna Hoffs? What did you want to be when you grew up? Well, I wanted to be a podcaster or married to Susanna Hoffs. One of those two things happened, but there's still time for the other. How about now? You thinking about starting your own business? Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Chloe is Googling Susanna Hoffs, I'm sure, right now. Shopify even powers the CHGO merch store. Got one on right here, one of our new Hawks designs. Grab one. Shopify has you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. And sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Once again, that is shopify.com/allcity. And we've all been there when you are in Illinois and you were in Iowa and so were your sunglasses. And now they're no longer with you in Illinois. They were on the roof of your car at the gas station and now they're under someone's tire. And that's no good. Well, if you found Shady Rays like we did, it's no big deal. They have changed the game. They're made for real life. They look great. They're polarized. They're durable. They're not stupidly expensive. And the best part about Shady Rays, if you lose them or break them or leave them on the roof of your car, whatever, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can wear your sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, in an Iowa bathroom, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. So go to shadyrays.com and use our code CHGOSR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Shadyrays.com, CHGOSR. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, and now it's time for the big takeaway presented by Xfinity. Imagine that. And before we get to the big takeaway, a lot of people shouting out Susanna Hoffs.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. And Jizzo says, of all the things I thought could be said on the show today, Susanna Hoffs is not one of them. I almost went with Linda Carter, who was truly my first crush, but I felt like that one might be a little too old of a reference. Susanna Hoffs a little bit younger than Linda Carter.
Sure. They're both wonderful ladies.
That is officially Linda Carter, officially the first crush. Susanna Hoffs, the second and remaining crush.
I mean, the little eye roll in the Walk Like Egyptian video is
it's on a loop in my head 24/7.
It's been burned in my brain since I was a wee little lad.
Yes. Wow. Just thinking about that. Okay. The big takeaway.
Takeaway. Susanna Hoffs.
If Torts is done truly with Vegas, or he's just saying that as a negotiating play, which wouldn't be the dumbest thing, and the Oilers feel like they need big hard-ass guy to come in and be their coach, why not wait a week and swoop in and give John Tortorella a crap ton of money and avoid this sure nightmare that's about to happen with Mike Babcock?
Because Stan Bowman is a moron.
Yeah. I mean...
And the Oilers don't care. The Oilers look at the Vegas Golden Knights and say, well, they don't care about PR nightmares. Yeah, but they're winning.
There's a difference there.
People can look past shady pasts when you're winning. Now, granted, the Oilers were in the last 2 Stanley Cup Finals.
Yes.
So, yes, they've done their fair share of winning, but this year was a disappointment. And I don't know, this whole Mike Babcock stuff, it feels now that the Oilers are almost begging the NHL to say, no, you can't hire him. Because I think they purposely let this out that they were talking to him so they can get what their fan base thinks of it. And now that their fan base hates it, they're like, please, NHL, tell us we can't hire him.
Put out some feelers.
So they could avoid it.
That's interesting.
But now they have to wait because now the NHL is going to go ahead. They said they needed to do the NHLPA wants the NHL to do a full investigation because apparently they didn't do one in 2023 because the Blue Jackets got rid of them. So they're like, cool, we're done.
Right. So
and apparently there's more allegations than just the unlocking of the phone stuff that got out.
So here's Frank Saravalli scooped it. I believe he had it first. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Not intentional. Said, if the Oilers elect to continue down the path with Mike Babcock, sources say the NHLPA is in receipt of, quote, significant additional claims from their own investigation with players that were not publicly reported in 2023. Those claims were presented to the NHL prior to his resignation. Furthermore, sources indicate that asking players to see photos is not what ultimately resulted in Babcock's resignation. It was the subsequent unknown allegation reported below. This is a tweet I'm reading that cost Babcock his job. So last night, I was listening to What Chaos because I wanted to hear what DJ had to say.
Oh, he had a lot to say.
Man, I'm telling you, those two, and they had Jeff Marek on, it was some of the best hockey podcasting I've heard in a long time. They were all over it. They did a great job. But everywhere you turn, the stories about Mike Babcock get worse and worse. The one that Chris Chelios told on Spit and Chicklets a couple years ago, that here's a quote from Chris Chelios. Wait, hold on, I lost it. But basically what Chelios said was that Babcock abused Johan Franzen to the point where he had a mental breakdown, to the point where he is still dealing with PTSD. Like, Johan Franzen was a big, physical, good NHL player and just became the target of Mike Babcock. Look, Chris Chelios, if you're listening to this, you're like, these guys are soft. No, Chris Chelios is the hardest-nosed, oldest school dude.
Alpha-ist male of them all.
Absolutely. Like, he's not the kind of guy who's going to go woke, air quotes. Like, you know what I mean? Chris Chelios is that dude. And for him to say, what I saw from Mike Babcock towards Johan Franzen was ridiculous and the worst thing I've ever seen.
Chelios got the brunt of...
Yes, he did.
Like the Winter Classic.
Yep.
Chris Chelios, towards the end of his career, hometown, game at Wrigley Field, and he plays him one shift and sat him the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's pudwhack behavior.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of funny to like see some of the Oilers, Edmonton media guys kind of try and do some mental gymnastics here. It was Jim Matheson had a tweet out yesterday who was like, well, Scotty Bowman was a hard ass and nobody cared about it. He got hired. Well, Scotty Bowman won how many Stanley Cups?
Yeah, like 50.
Also a different era. Like, Mike Babcock hasn't won a Stanley Cup since 2008.
Yes, almost 20 years.
And has only gotten out of the first round of playoffs like once since 2013.
Yes.
Like he hasn't coached a game in the NHL in 7 years. Like, he's going to bring it in. Like, and apparently the leadership group of the Oilers, player-wise, met with owner, and said, cool. Well, you can bring him in, but
Mike Babcock's not going to be a jerk to McDavid and Draisaitl.
No, those guys will be fine.
It's going to be everybody else on a team he's going to bully and push around. And the other thing, too, like, okay, a couple other stories. Mike Modano signs with Detroit, his hometown team, for his last season. He's at 1,499 games. At the time, the greatest American-born player ever, and Mike Babcock healthy scratches him, so he can't reach 1,500. At the end of the day, doesn't matter. No, not really. But, like, it's just you're being a peen for the sake of being a peen. Mike Commodore, take it with a grain of salt, because it's Mike Commodore, of course. But he says that basically Babcock told him to sign in Detroit so Babcock could end his career. Like, and all that aside, when you talk to people in the organizations that worked under Mike Babcock, he is a jerk to custodial staff, to trainers, to team employees. He is just a bad guy. If you want a hard-ass coach to come in here and lay down a law, because I think what Marek and what DJ were referring to yesterday was like McDavid and Draisaitl are tired of having to do it themselves. They're tired of having to be the fun police and the bad guys and the play harder guys. They want a coach to come in and do it. You can find a guy that can do that without it being Mike Babcock. Craig Berube's available. You want a short-term solution of a hard ass? There's a guy for you. John Tortorella, who says he's done with Vegas. If he wins the cup, throw the bag at him. Give him a 2-year deal.
Give Vegas a 4th-round pick to let Bruce Cassidy out of his.
That's the other thing.
Come on.
That's the other
thing. So what
thing.
happens if this? And speaking of, we should ask Reed Duthie, because the Brantford Bulldogs just hired Michael Babcock as their head coach.
Get him back on the phone.
Babcock's son. So what happens? The NHL does this investigation, which we know isn't exactly going to be done in 2 days. So say this gets dragged out to like August, and they say nope, you can't hire him. We're not going to allow you to, or the NHLPA says no, whatever. So now it's August, and you don't have a head coach. Like could be the ultimate swing and miss, because either you don't get him, and then you're stuck with whoever's available come then, or you do get him and it's an absolute disaster, and some you saw a lot of social media stuff about like, well, doesn't it a warning sign that you have to ask the NHLPA's permission to hire a coach? I'm like, well, this is the same team that also had to ask permission to hire their general manager, so they don't care.
That's it. I mean, and look, fine. Like, I get winning at all costs, right? If that's the idea, and like you mentioned, Vegas doesn't care. They don't care about the PR. If Carter Hart's going to give them a better chance to win, fine. They're going to sign Carter Hart, and they're going to deal with the PR stuff. Right. And banners hang forever. They'll be
the villain and not let Bruce Cassidy coach for a year because they don't want him to go to a division rival. All that stuff.
Fine.
Yeah. Whatever.
But it's another thing to bring in a guy that has like literally ruined lives. It's one thing to like bag skate guys or just be a really hard-nosed coach and really demanding. That's fine. I saw Montez Sweat today was talking about how awful training camp was last year. He said it with a chuckle because Ben Johnson worked their asses off. That's fine when it's not a guy that makes it personal.
Right.
And a guy that Mike Babcock is a bully. That's what he is. And again, there's probably some eye rolls with the use of that word. But when Chris Chelios is offended by the behavior of you, that is a huge red flag.
Yeah.
That is a massive red flag, and the Oilers don't have to do this. There are other dudes that can come in there, take the disciplinary role away from Draisaitl and McDavid, let those guys do their thing, let them focus on playing on the ice and not being the disciplinarians without being a bully and a guy who could potentially derail careers. And that's what Mike Babcock does. It's what he's done many times. And he hasn't won in 20 years. He got hired by Columbus and never coached a game.
He was there for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yes, he didn't even make it to training camp.
Well, another thing I found funny was all this stuff comes out about Babcock, and then yesterday, just miraculously, you have Bob Stauffer telling everybody, "Oh, McDavid's going to sign a 7-year deal after next year. He's staying in Edmonton. He's committed." And it's like, gee, I wonder why you're on the air saying stuff like that,
trying to change the mood.
Exactly. Hey, forget about this nonsense going on over here. I have the scoop.
Yeah.
McDavid is staying. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that.
So I really liked what Jeff Marek was saying with What Chaos yesterday. He kept referring to it as a doomsday clock. And that is truly what the Oilers are dealing with. And if they don't win in the next 2 years, it's very likely McDavid is gone.
I mean, there is that line of thought that he signed the 2-year extension as a win now or I'm gone. But he also signed the 2-year extension because he was waiting for the salary cap to go up so he can get that huge payday too. Because if he signed an 8-year deal 2 years ago, it would have cost him a lot of money.
I just feel like...
But he now has that option, though. That is definitely an option where he can be like, I'm tired of this. I'm, I want to go, he sees what some of the other guys are doing. He sees Quinn Hughes get out of Vancouver, which is a bad situation. He sees Matthew Tkachuk get out of Calgary and go win a couple of cups. He sees Mitch Marner get out of Toronto and go to Vegas, and he's one of the Conn Smythe favorites right now. Like, these guys talk to each other, and he sees what's going on, and he could be like, you know what, I'm done.
Hey, you know what? In 2 years, the Hawks could use a third line center behind Bedard and Frondell. So maybe they're going to have to eat some salary. No,
McDavid's a winger.
Eric says maybe he's grown. Maybe he's not a POS anymore.
Leopards don't change their spot at 63. Yeah, he is who he is. All right, he's not a 19-year-old that made a bad decision after one too many Schlitzes. He's a 63-year-old man. He's a pudwag.
Yes, that was 2003 when the Columbus stuff happened. So
23.
Thank you. 2023 when that stuff happened. I'm pretty sure that over the last 3 years,
there's a reason nobody has touched him since then.
Look, if it works, Stan Bowman's a genius.
Can you just cut that part out alone? Stan Bowman is a genius, and we'll save that.
Thus the pause. Like, what are the odds of Stan Bowman being a genius? And look, like, people that have been following my work for a long time know that there was a period of time where I was a pretty decent defender of Stan Bowman because I think he did a fine job of keeping them competitive, dealing with the salary cap.
Until then, the next round of contracts
my
came
God,
out.
then he lost his ever-loving mind and then couldn't, for the life of him, I thought he was an average general manager, right? Like, yeah, replacement level, middle of the pack, not going to help, not going to hurt, whatever. Then he became incredibly detrimental. I think it was the Brent Seabrook contract was the first thing.
That was
like something happened between like the cup winning and him signing Seabrook to that contract to Sam Bowman where he lost his mind. And ever since then, the things he has done have been nuts.
I like how our new pal Carmelo G signs his comments now, Carmelo G. So you don't call him Carmelog anymore.
Carmelog. He says, "Let's go back to the McDavid to the Blackhawks part."
Hey, I mean, we may have to. We'll spend all of next offseason.
I mean, how many teams are going to have $20 million of cap space?
Not many. That's for sure. The Oilers won't either. Yeah, it's too bad because I've kind of jumped on the Oilers bandwagon the last couple years. I love Connor McDavid. I love watching him play. I want him to get a Stanley Cup.
You don't want him to be the Dan Marino of hockey.
Like you heard it forever with Ovechkin. Yes. He's not as good as Crosby because he's never won. So when he got his cup, I was so happy for Ovechkin. I want the same for McDavid. He's not going to be able to join the greatest of all time conversations if he never gets one. I just don't know if he's ever going to get that in Edmonton. Not the way they're trending right now. They had a really good team 2 years ago, and Bowman got rid of so many of their depth guys that helped them. Ryan McLeod and some of these other guys that were there for that first run that got them to Game 7 that he didn't bring back or traded for other pieces. And, McDavid and Draisaitl both kind of alluded to that. Like, we got rid of too much character and depth from those cup teams, and it just wasn't the same.
I've been talking about this all summer. Is for the Hawks, there's a lot of this focus on Robertson and Nyes and Kyrou, and like rightfully so. Don't get me wrong.
You need those guys.
You also need those kind of, like McLeod is such a good example, or like Michael McCarron, who just signed with the Wild yesterday. Those character guys that raise the floor, that make you competitive every night, that go out and give you 13 or 14 minutes a game where they have a limited role and they achieve it perfectly. And it allows the more talented top six type guys to play their game and not to play out of their roles. You need those guys too. And the Oilers are such a great illustration of that because you've got arguably the two best forwards in the game on your team. Right?
Two of the best.
Sure. But you could argue Draisaitl, McKinnon, toss-up. I'd take McKinnon over Draisaitl. But, it's razor thin, right? You've got two of the greatest players in the game, two first-ballot Hall of Famers in their prime right now. Your third best forward, Zach Hyman, is a former 50 goal scorer. They've got all the talent in the world. but it is that character that they are lacking, that little bit of push that we saw. And a goalie. That's important too.
And there were rumors the other day that they were getting Sebastian Cossa from the Red Wings, but that never really came to fruition. There were rumblings, but that nobody that I trust came out with it.
I saw Matt Larkin added him to his trade list today, but I don't know if that's in reaction to that. But who knows what Detroit's doing?
But I mean, that's an unproven guy. Sebastian Cossa doesn't put the Oilers in the Stanley Cup Final again. Maybe he does.
I would take a bet on him in 3 years.
Maybe.
But if they're trying to win now,
right,
that's not the guy. But it's also not Connor Ingram or Tristan Jarry.
I agree.
They
proved that without a doubt this year.
Yeah.
So the Oilers. It's disappointing that the Oilers are doing this because I'm rooting for the Oilers. I want Connor McDavid to get a cup, and I cheered for those teams the last 2 seasons in the Cup Final. I wanted them to win, and I just don't see how this ends well for them because either you get Babcock in and it's going to be the disaster that most people feel it is, maybe not, but probably will be. And then, or they get screwed because they waited too long, and then they have nobody to pick from. Who do they get?
Yeah.
Do they try to entice Patrick Waugh with a bunch of money? Get him in Edmonton? But that's not a guy that I think puts them over the top
Waugh,
either.
I still don't.
But he's that hard ass screamy coach.
If I'm choosing him or Babcock, I'm choosing Waugh.
Yeah. I'm choosing Derek Roy over Mike Babcock at this point. I'll make Nick Waugh the head coach before Mike Babcock.
I don't know. It feels like when you get 2 shots in a row at the Stanley Cup Final and you don't win, it feels like, well, you had your shot. It is very difficult to win a Stanley Cup. Ask the Sharks, ask the Canucks, ask how many good teams that ask the Hawks of the 90s that had probably enough talent to get it done, right? Enough talent to win it, just couldn't get it done. And when you get those opportunities, and I think that very famous
Carolina
video,
Hurricanes were in the final now. They've been trying for years.
They're there every year, and they just can't get over the hump. Maybe this is the year, when you see McDavid 2 years ago, that video from behind the scenes where he's like, let's go, it's the Stanley Cup, and people are making fun of it. But that is a guy at the top of his game, at the peak of his powers, with an opportunity to win it, and he's seeing his teammates not meeting him at his level. And it's not his level of talent, it's his level of giving an F.
Yeah. And then
you're also seeing a guy pleading with his teammates about it.
It can't help that his drive to see a guy like Jack Eichel, who was taken famously second after him, force his way out of Buffalo, go to Vegas. He's won a Stanley Cup, and he's 2 wins from winning a second one. That also has to, grind his gears.
Yes, I would think so. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it feels like this Babcock thing's going to happen. I do. Your theory, though, is interesting. We need the foil hat that you made many months ago, Chloe.
Hey, I made it, and you guys wanted me to throw
it
away.
I wrapped the beef sandwich in it and took it home.
Oh, perfect.
That's a great use of a foil hat.
I just shook the hair strands out and put the beef sandwich in there. But your theory that maybe they were just seeing what's the reaction here? Okay, that was bad. No, we're not going to do that.
But they couldn't have thought it would be good.
Are we giving Stan Bowman that much credit?
But who said that idea came from him?
Well, that's true. Look, hey, you know what? If Stan Bowman's operating from, I'm fired anyway.
Then just quit, dude. Stop ruining people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's nothing new for him. It's just, if his thing is okay, we need a hard ass coach. Here is the hardest ass there is. Come on down. I am betting against it. I think it's not going to work.
I agree, but we'll see. I just think Babcock is from an era that doesn't exist anymore. These players today, they're just not going to gravitate to that. Torts is working with Vegas on the short term because it's a veteran team that kind of just needed a different voice.
And he has basically said, I'm guiding. I'm letting them do their thing.
Bruce Cassidy was a bit of a hard ass. That's part of the reason that but he won a cup.
Yeah.
So, there's guys out there.
Since more recently than 2008.
Yeah. It's been there.
Times. Like you said, solve your problem, give the Knights a draft pick, and hire Bruce Cassidy. What are we doing?
It seems too easy. He wants to go there.
Yes. It just.
But meanwhile, now you missed out on Peter Laviolette.
Yeah.
You're going to miss out on whoever the Maple Leafs hire.
Joe Pavelski.
Yeah. I mean, sure, why not? Hire Tyler Seguin while you're at it. Oh. You're going to miss out on all those guys, and then you might not even get this guy. That would be hilarious. Where they wait and they don't get him.
Brian in the chat says, "So no Mike Keenan? Yeah,
hey, why not? If you can't get Babcock, might as well get Mike.
Have
Keenan.
Dave Manson take off his skate and try to stab him again.
I mean, Mike Keenan and Mike Babcock cut from the same cloth.
Is it possible that Babcock is a worse guy than Mike Keenan? Man, you read?
I don't know.
Did you read Ronick's book?
I did, yeah.
You know
what? Probably not, because Babcock stayed everywhere he went. Outside of Columbus, he stayed everywhere he went a lot longer than Mike Keenan ever did.
Yeah.
Mike Keenan was like every other year was in a different town.
Mike Keenan is currently 76 years old.
He was in Russia for a few years.
Yes, he was.
There was something in the news about him recently.
Is he doing anything now?
I hope not. I hope he's taking some time for himself. 76.
Yeah, he hasn't coached since 2017.
Yeah. He was in Russia for a while.
Trying to see if there. Yeah, I remember something recent too, but maybe not.
He was in the news cycle.
He wrote a book.
While, yeah.
He had cancer in 2018. I don't know. According to Wikipedia, nothing interesting.
He's available
since 2024.
There you go, Stan. Call Mike Keenan. See if he'll take the gig.
All right, before we go, can we have some fun? We gonna play this game?
Wait, I have one other thing also.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you want to start with this, or do you want to do the fun stuff? This is adorable.
All right, do adorable, then fun.
Okay, so I just saw this tweet, and it was somebody asking, she said, there's a 3-year-old boy in my town fighting neuroblastoma that was placed on hospice care last week. He had a Make-A-Wish that was scheduled for October. His wish was to meet with the Maple Leafs, but with it being the off-season, his family is asking for anything, like any sort of players to come visit him. And then somebody provided an update and said that Connor Bedard went and visited this little kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I have
very cool
a photo of this here. How sweet.
Is that Fraser Mitten, the other
Yes,
guy?
it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, very cool. Nice to see these young guys getting it. Good human being that Connor Bedard is.
Seems like it, absolutely.
And here's a picture of him signing the jersey. His name is Maverick. He said, "To Maverick, you're the strongest boy I know."
Oh, that's nice.
That's awesome.
Good job, Connor.
Way to go, Connor.
Yes. And Fraser. Good for him, too.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about him.
Yeah, it's, boy, we spend a lot of time talking about silly crap and getting getting all twisted up about draft picks and trades. And there's a kid who's at the end who just gets to meet his hero. And it's, it's a reminder that we're in the toy department.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's have some fun, shall we?
Yes, let's have some fun.
Yeah, can we do this through here? 84. We're gonna play 84-0. I think I want to do this like kind of every show, as long as it's not like a Connor Bedard extension or something.
Sure.
All right, so let's establish some rules. I think we play against each other.
Right.
We got to go hard mode.
Okay.
And are we allowing respins?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You only get one.
One respin. Well, you get two. You respin the team once and the era once.
One respin.
So we have to choose one respin.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
All right. Hard mode, one respin.
Tell me when we're ready, Chloe. Are we ready?
We'll do it.
If you've not done this, by the way, 84-0, 84-0.com, you're trying to build a team roster that goes 84-0, left wing, right wing, center, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. So let's go. Greg's going to go first.
Oh, I'm going to go first?
Yeah, you're going to go first.
All right.
Hit that hard mode. There we go. All right, so Greg draws the 60s Red Wings.
You got to take Gordie Howe.
That's a good pick. Gordie Howe is a good pick. The 90s Panthers.
Come on. Respin. Redraw team.
Redraw team?
This sucks. Look at those guys. No way.
Yeah, Beezer's all right. John Van
right.
Beezer's all right.
No, he's not going 84-0. Get out of here.
Right, fair.
All right, that's much better. Much better.
90s Penguins.
Give me Mario Emilio. Yeah, I almost went Paul Caulfield. How many? The 2020.
The
Connor
20s
Hellebuck.
Jets.
There's my goalie.
Oh, God, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
2000s Bruins. It's got to be Chara.
Come
Chara.
on.
Yeah.
This is too easy.
70s Bruins.
Oh my
Bobby
goodness.
Orr. Yeah, there you go.
You're 84-0 for sure.
I don't get Hossa. Give me
2000s
Kovalchuk.
Thrashers.
Kovalchuk. Yes.
Yeah.
Kovalchuk.
That's a good pick.
All right, let's see what we got.
Greg.
79, 3 and 2. All right, that's pretty good.
We are gonna go to overtime. I'm gonna make my picks on the other side of overtime. All right, 79. I'm just writing it down so I don't forget. 79, 3 and 2 is what Greg got. All right, I'm gonna go now. Let's do this. I'm ready. Hit play again there. All right. Oh my God, 2010s Predators.
You gonna use your respin already?
No. Give me Shea Weber.
I already won.
50s, give me Gordie Howe, 50s Red Wings. 80s Blackhawks. See, this is tough. There's so many good ones.
No, I know who you got.
Give me Doug Wilson. 2000s Lightning. Ooh. Give me Vinny LeCavalier. I'm not going 84-0 here.
I've won.
Yeah, I think you won.
You might not even get in the 70s.
20s. All right, see, redraw. I want to redraw a team here. It was 20s Bruins. Oh, God. All right, give me Kaprizov. 20s Wild.
That's not bad.
All right.
Now your goalies.
70s Canadians. Give me Ken Dryden.
I mean, yeah, that's
not bad. All right, let's see.
You're not beating me. There's no way.
79 and 5.
I win.
You beat me.
Yeah, I don't know how you got 79 wins. I win
it's
on
not a
point.
bad team.
No, but it's worse than mine.
It is definitely. It is factually worse than yours. All right, we'll do this again. We're gonna do this again every day. Chloe tried to play and then it showed her to 90. She's like, I don't know who that is. Because I was negative 12.
Okay, that's dramatic.
It was a little dramatic.
It sounded
Jay was
exactly
standing
like
over
that
my
out.
shoulder the entire time, and he was not letting me play by myself.
trying to help. Oh,
And Lebowski, I did not pass on a young Hossa. He was unavailable because I already had a right wing.
yeah, he had a right wing already.
I was going to
so
take Hossa.
It was Heatley or Kovalchuk, right?
Yeah, those are only two.
Good pick for you. All right, we're going to wrap things up. We will be back. I
think the building's
tomorrow.
about to blow
I think
away.
we have a tornado situation happening here at CHGO. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 with Charlie Romeliotis.
We all silly like the mayor.